I'm Miranda Bolden. I chose to build my company Logicor in one of the world's leading science and technology business centers right here in Huntsville, Alabama. Successful entrepreneurs and innovators excel here, and now you get to meet them. Hear the stories that lead to their success and the secrets that will help you thrive right here on The Miranda Show. Welcome to The Miranda Show. Occasionally, we like to highlight some of our nonprofits in the community that are doing great things. And today, we're joined by Ms. Lee Marshall. She's the founder of Kids to Love. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me today.
You're welcome. I'm glad to finally meet you. I've heard so many great things about the things that you're doing in the community. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about you and just some of the initiatives that you have going on.
We are wide open when it comes to serving children in foster care.
Yes.
Kids to Love, our organization, started in 2004, and since that time we've been able to make a direct impact on the lives of more than 250,000 children in foster care.
Oh, wow.
And we do that through a whole host of programs. The best analogy I can give is no matter when a child enters foster care, Kids to Love is a big wheel, and we have a spoke on that wheel that meets that child where they are. Education is a big part of what we do. The number one reason why children come into foster care is because of poverty. And we know the way that we can get them out of poverty is through education. And a lot of our programs deal with education. This summer we are providing more than 7,000 backpacks to foster children across 4 states. We will award surpass the 700 mark on college scholarships that we will award. We have had some amazing young people achieve great academic achievements through our scholarship program. Our K-Tech program, which is a workforce training initiative, that is doing great things to teach that aging out demographic to keep them out of prison so we can get them a skill set and put them to work. And so we just do a lot of things. Davidson Farms is our group home for girls.
Where is that located?
It's here in Madison County.
In Madison County.
It's a 10,000 square foot quaint little home, as I like to call it, on 10.5 acres. And we have girls in foster care that live there full time. I take legal custody of them, and they are doing amazing. So we're just really proud of our girls there at the farm and the opportunity we're able to give them through giving them that stability of a safe, loving environment.
Okay. Your volunteers at the foster home, what does that look like, and what are some of the needs that are there?
We have every year, excuse me, over 5,000 volunteers that support our organization. I tell people all the time, we couldn't do what we do in any other community in America. I firmly believe that. Huntsville, Madison County, North Alabama, South Central Tennessee is such a giving community. And without those volunteers, our organization, we don't accept any state or federal funding. Our overhead is 8%, and we run debt-free.
Oh, great.
And
congratulations for that.
We work really hard for that. We run as a business, and one of the reasons that we're able to do that is because so many people give of their time and their talents as volunteers to allow us to put more resources directly into our kids.
So tell me about your background. What inspires you to just conquer this mission?
Well, I was born into foster care. For me, it's very personal. This has been a lifelong journey of a passion. And truly is answering a God-given call that that I feel is my responsibility. I was born into foster care. I was placed with a family at 6 weeks old. They were able to adopt me at the age of 2. I know that I'm very blessed. There are over 6,000 kids in foster care in Alabama today that need a forever family. So I know that I was very blessed. So one of the biggest things we do, in addition to the education and the outreach, is recruitment of potential foster families, training those families, because we believe that every child deserves a forever family.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if we can provide them the opportunity, train potential families, work with DHR with supporting them with more resources, it benefits our kids in a great way.
How difficult is it for one to become a foster parent?
It is so easy. You know, people think it's a very, it's a very intimidating process. We work to help make that a very streamlined process. Kidstolove.org is our website, and if people go there, they can request more information. We have a training class starting in August that we would love to get people plugged into, and we will walk them through that process. There are some, very strict rules that DHR has in place, and we can help them understand why they're in place. It's all about protecting our kids and making sure that that child is a great match for that family.
What are the age ranges there currently?
We have newborns to teenagers. In the state of Alabama, what I have found is once a child hits the age of 6, that child finding a forever family is almost unachievable. It's very sad that you would think that, you know, initially I thought the age would be older, but it's very young. Everyone wants a baby, and you get that. But I have a chance to meet these great teenagers that just need a loving family. And I mean, they're teenagers and all that comes with it, but they still need a chance.
And for that age group, the group that's over 6, what can we in the community do to continue to support that great effort and that need?
You know, really get behind a Kids to Love and support all of our outreach initiatives, whether it's helping to provide scholarships for maybe a young boy to play baseball, or providing resources for a young lady to have their prom dress, to give them life as a normal child. That's one of the things we strive to do.
This episode of The Miranda Show is sponsored by Bryant Bank.
Bryant Bank wants to help you save time when you need it most. Can't get to the bank to deposit a check? Don't worry. Deposit it in seconds on your smartphone. Want to make a deposit on the weekend? Not a problem. Use our smart ATMs that accept checks and cash. Bryant Bank debit cards are even instantly issued at any branch and can be locked or unlocked with a simple click on your phone. Bryant Bank, unbeatable service, legendary results. Member FDIC.
Inspire and achieve. Yes, it's our name, but it's also our goal. Inspiring students to enter the world of mathematics and science and giving them scholarships to be able to achieve their goals. You can be a part of it. Go to inspireandachieve.net. You can volunteer, make a tax-deductible gift, and learn all about Inspire and Achieve. Students in Madison, Limestone, Morgan, and Lawrence counties, go to inspireandachieve.net and see how to apply for a merit-based scholarship up to $5,000. Inspire and Achieve. Join us at inspireandachieve.net.
You recently had a really cool initiative called Over the Edge.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
You should go over the edge with us. We have, I can get you in, I know people there. Last year we launched this initiative, and it's something that we were watching on a national scale for a long time. Meredith and David, 2 of my rock stars on our team, she saw this, and we did some research. We didn't want to do another gala. We feel that
we have enough galas.
It's very well done in this town, and you know, we're just not a stuffy group of people. And so it literally is rappelling 160 feet off the Regions building in downtown. I really had.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I had a very strong devotional with the Lord last September coming down. But it has just grown, and this year we're set for September 20th and 21st again. And it's a fun event, and so we're challenging people to fundraise. And there are a lot of people that are legitimately scared of heights, and so what we're asking, what we're asking them to do is fundraise and then let one of our kids in foster care have a chance to go over in their place.
Oh, that's really, really awesome.
Yeah, so I can sign you up. You just you just pray on that.
Talk to me a few minutes about how you started this nonprofit. Was this something that you had help with for those who are just interested in just the entrepreneurial side of you?
Yeah, you know, we started Kids to Love, the concept really when I was at 48. We would showcase children in foster care every week to work to find them a forever family. As I got to meet these kids, I saw that their basic needs weren't being met. And so I reached out to other nonprofits in the community that were maybe doing a backpack drive or other outreach. And I said, you know, could we get some for our kids in foster care? And they said, you know, Lee, we're really sticking to our mission, and our mission isn't to serve foster children. So we really started Kids to Love almost as a last minute. I didn't want to start a nonprofit, but I found that there was no one in that lane of serving children in foster care. So I kind of went in like hog-tied and dragged to do this. I was very blessed to have people surround me, CPAs and attorneys to give me great advice and guidance. But a lot of it has just been grit and hard work and research. When you do something that no one else has done, and you do it in a way that's never been done, you don't have a manual on it. And I have people all the time that say, hey, I want to start a nonprofit. I'm like, oh yeah, you should totally do that, but do not call me, because I'm going to give you every reason why you shouldn't. If there are people out there that might be interested in that, the very first thing I would do is encourage them to see if an effort is being done in our community already.
The need.
The need. We have amazing nonprofits doing wonderful things. So if they can tie in and strengthen that nonprofit, I'm sure that nonprofit would welcome them. If not, they need to see what's going on a national level. Is there something that they can bring a franchise in instead of just starting from the bottom? It's hard to do something without a playbook. It has been very rewarding. I love a challenge. It's been beneficial to our kids. But man, if I knew then what I knew now, I don't know that I would sign up for it. I mean, I would now, but there have been a lot of tough years. Yes. It's been really tough.
You've been a major champion for our kids, and we're very appreciative of that. Just on a personal note, I hear that you can sing.
I can. Not today, but I can.
And have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Where do you sing?
Oh gosh, I sing churches, women's conferences. I joked that I was going to put on my bio, I'm a professional national anthem singer, but not today. I have 2 CDs that I've...
congratulations.
Thank you. Some original music we recorded in Muscle Shoals. My good friend Mike Curtis, he and I produced them, so I'm on iTunes, which my daughters think that's really cool.
It is
that their mom's
cool.
on iTunes. But yeah, I love to write. That's that journalist in me, and I'm very much an artist at heart. So I love the performance of the music, but it all has a message that comes back to really the mission of serving and giving back.
So we've got some questions from our audience to understand your leadership style. You're such an amazing leader. What is your leadership style personally?
My leadership style is really a servant leader, to lead by example. One of the things that I think has made our team very effective is when we started the organization, it was just me. And then we added a person maybe 4 or 5 years in. And then it was just the 2 of us.
4 to 5 years later.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was starting a nonprofit, working full-time in news, and being a mom, in my spare time, right? So, but to me, it is, there's not a job that our organization does that anybody on our team is above doing. And I think we do that by example as leaders. It is truly, getting in there and getting your hands dirty. One of the things I love to do is drive our forklift. And earlier this week, I actually loaded a semi with pallets with backpacks ready to go to all of the kids in Central and South Alabama. And I love that because that kind of gives my brain some rest time. So yeah, I'm very much a servant leader. I want to bring together people. I'm very intentional about evaluating strengths and weaknesses. And then I go out and find the strength in my weakness.
Oh, nice.
And so for me,
you build great teams from
build
that.
great teams from that. If you know everything to every answer to the question in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's right.
And so for me, it really is about surrounding myself with people who have amazing strengths. I know where my strengths are, but I also know where my weaknesses are. But that's why we have an amazing team.
Speaking of your team, growing up, you mentioned earlier today that you were adopted at the age of 2, correct? How did that impact you in terms of your leadership style growing up, knowing that, this is something special that has happened for me? Did that have any impact on your leadership?
Yeah, it did. It really instilled in me the drive to not be the one that quits on these kids.
I love that. Absolutely.
I love a challenge. One of my favorite quotes is by Pat Summitt that says, "Let me tell you how I'm going to beat you. I'm going to outwork you. That's how I'm going to beat you." That's how I've been my entire life, whether it was in television, whether it was in news, whether it was getting a story, and then transition that into our nonprofit and working to secure relationships in our community that then turn into donors that support our mission. It's not about me. I truly am the vehicle for someone to support our kids, but I am the most competitive, relentless person. To be successful for me now means that they have the opportunity to be successful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Your favorite book, I understand, is Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes, this is, and it's an old one. And I love. We were talking during the break. I love to read. I read all the time. I have a library at my house that's full. One of the things that I love about that is just really challenging you to get out of your comfort zone. And I think that a comfort zone is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
It's scary to get out of your comfort zone. I'm a very strategic, logical, analytical thinker. But I'm also, when you look at the personality scope, I'm very entrepreneurial vision, you know, go get the big things. But I also am very strategic and logistical too. So when we do things at our organization, it's not halfway. We have really thought through, made a plan, and we've done some pretty big initiatives in the last several years, especially once I retired from television, to do Kids to Love full time, to launch K-Tech and to launch Davidson Farms. You know, those are initiatives that sometimes when people run a group home, they only run a group home. Or sometimes when people run a training center, they only run a training center. And we added that to our already robust programs of outreach. But we were able to do that successfully because we had a plan and we had the right people in place that knew their lane, and they're able to perform. I'm not a micromanager, and I don't hire people that I have to micromanage. My team, they're self-driven leaders that all have a voice, and there's a mutual respect at the table when we come to the table. But I expect them to be leaders. That's.
And you also have a board of directors that
we do. Community board of directors. They've been with us since the beginning. Scott Butler, who is actually the story of how we came about as an organization. I was on a flight from DC to Huntsville in 2003, and I was sitting beside him, and he said, you know, I've seen you, I've heard you speak, I don't think we could ever be foster parents, but if I could ever help you in any way. And I said, you know, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing more, but I don't know what more is. And condensed conversation, he said, you need a nonprofit. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, he said, I'm a CPA and my business is business development, and I can bring together the team that can make this happen. Scott has been with us since the beginning, and he has been just a force to be reckoned with. A dear friend of mine, Steve Marshall, who now holds the title of Attorney General, has been on our board for years.
Wonderful.
So we have so many volunteers in our community across multiple businesses and community volunteer retiree roles that really work to make our organization successful.
Oh, wonderful. How does your organization differ from, say, the Harris Home for Children?
One of the biggest ways is we don't accept state or federal funding.
Okay.
So every dime that we raise for the farm, we raise that from donors. When we look at what we brought in last year, over 65% of our donations came from individuals. And that's, you know, primarily people in North Alabama and Southern Tennessee. We are a basic group home, and so we only accept children that need just a basic home. I believe Harris Home has services in place that maybe serve children that maybe need a little bit more intensive, like a moderate placement. But the sad thing about it is we're at capacity. Harris Home stays at capacity. Every group home in Alabama stays at capacity. Just during the break, I had a phone call, and I'm sure it was a number asking for another request for placement. The need is so great. Everybody that is serving children, their job and their work is needed. We as a community just need to be able to step up and support it so we can offer that to even more children.
Well, thank you for sharing that with our community. Before we end, tell me about your daughters.
Oh,
what is their role in all of this?
Well, you know, train up a child in the way they should go. Yes. They have been with me since the very beginning. It's funny. My 11-year-old, last year when she was 10, we had a group in to fill backpacks. And I walk around the corner, and my husband calls her Little Lee. Little Lee was like, Emma's her name. She was saying, this is how you do it, and this is where it goes, and it has to be done right because this is what these children are getting. So my girls and Jeff, my husband, they are big roles. We're successful, and I'm successful because they really are supportive of everything that we do. It truly is a family affair for us.
Well, that is a wonderful story, and thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Would you like to leave any last-minute words to those who could support your mission? What would you like to share?
I would just encourage them to visit kidstolove.org, learn more about what we're doing, and get involved. If you're interested in being a foster or adoptive parent, we certainly can plug them in. There's a lot of ways to get involved, and we would love for you to be a part of it.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.
You too.
This episode of The Miranda Show is sponsored by Bryant Bank.
We have had a Bryant Bank account probably for 2 or 3 years, and we have enjoyed being customers of Bryant Bank.
We want to get to know our clients. We want to get to know our customers. We want to understand where they're at right now and where they want to go next year and in 5 years and 10 years. They are not just a transaction. They are very, very important to us.
You feel like you're not only going to do business with them, you're going to be a partner in their business.
Bryant Bank is just a personal connection, and they really do care about what you need.
Welcome to the Miranda Show. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Tonight in our studio audience, we have Amanda Howard with Sotheby's Realty Group, and we're so pleased to have her. She's a marketing genius, and we're just super excited to chat with her today. Thank you, Amanda. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me here, Miranda. It's a beautiful set.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Amanda, your team has experienced phenomenal success here in Huntsville, Alabama. Share with us have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I have. Even as a little child, I wanted to own my own business and do my own thing, mainly because I felt like the government was holding me back. When I was 14, I felt like I should be able to get my own job, and they were saying that no, I was too young to work. So I started my own little business called Mandy's Muffins and was selling muffins door to door until my mom shut me down.
Now, were you making these muffins yourself?
I was at first, and then I learned to delegate, so I hired my little brother. And he did all the mixing, and then I did the baking. I was pretty good at checking the temperature, and then he helped me with delivery.
Oh, great.
So between the two of us, we got it done.
I love it. So I have heard that you love the art of business, kind of like the art of war. Tell me your perspective on loving the art of business.
Well, with business, you can be so creative. There was a time in my business where, we all have a startup and we all have a passion and there's something we want to create. So we get to create that. And then you'll get to a point in your business where you hit a plateau and you're wondering, what do I do next? Well, that's the time you get to recreate yourself. And I had some great advice from a mentor at one point in time where I kind of just threw my hands up in the air and said, I don't know, I think I'm done with this. And he called me while I was avoiding everybody else's phone calls at the office that I had just walked out of. And he said, this is your sandbox. You get to make the rules. And I went, oh, that's so true. This is my sandbox. Wait, why am I quitting? It's my business.
Yes.
And then I went back and retook over in my own way. And really, I took over myself. And that's the art of business, is that you get to recreate yourself and be whatever you want to be when you grow up.
Absolutely, and that's the story, that's the American dream. I love it. So I understand that you recently partnered with Sotheby's Realty. How did you establish that relationship?
Well, Sotheby's International Realty is an incredible brand. It has a heritage of almost 300 years. It started at an auction house in London, and it grew up time with literature. It was in books, and then they gained art, automobiles, and it grew to the point where they started having beautiful homes because they're really a lifestyle brand. And in such, they grew in 1974. They opened up the realty side of it on the international world. So it's really incredible to be and almost surreal to have been asked to be part of this brand. It was just a year ago, actually this month, where I decided to take that leap and launch with them. But it wasn't a small leap. We did take about a year to really look into each other. They had done a lot of research on me before they approached us, and they told me Amanda Howard Real Estate appears to be Sotheby's of Huntsville. And that was a huge compliment. But I didn't understand why they would want us in Huntsville. We're in little Huntsville. And they said, well, because they are only in major metro markets. So I do need to take the step back to say that they're known for being in Miami, San Francisco, Hong Kong, Paris.
Oh, wow.
And so I went, why would you want Huntsville, Alabama?
Major accomplishment.
Yes, they only go to the metro markets where it's double that of the U.S. average sold home. So that's not here. That's not here. That's not Huntsville. And they said, well, we are watching emerging markets, and we like to grow with the right people. And so they felt that I was the right person to help them grow in this market that they see as an incredible emerging market. And so that's why we took that leap. So it was a huge compliment to not only myself and my group, my firm, but to Huntsville, Alabama, of what they see that we're about to become.
I understand that you recently participated in Going Over the Edge.
Yes, now that was fun.
Now tell me about that. Kids to Love. It's a foundation that's near and dear to your heart.
Kids to Love is an incredible group, and Lee Marshall, who started this organization, she raises funds for foster care, for children in foster care who need this additional help. But she not only teaches them, you know, helps them find families and their forever family, which is the ultimate goal, but technical trainings and how to be able to get a job. And then this next portion, the Over the Edge, is really focused around the teenagers, where sometimes that's harder for them to find that forever family. So they just need to understand that they're loved and that other people will mentor them and help them and take care of them. And we teach them training skills, professional skills, so that they can believe in themselves. That's what it really comes down to, that they're worthy to be able to have somebody invest in them and to start their own career, whether it's in a business or going into a technical field. And so she started this home that is specifically for teenagers, young ladies. I was going to say girls, but they're bigger than girls. So teenage young women, to be able to live in a safe environment and a place that is very supportive to them. And that's what this specific fundraiser is for, with Over the Edge.
Well, that's wonderful, and it's amazing.
And for some reason, I'm not afraid of heights, even as short as I am. So
just I
had no problem jumping over the edge.
Just real quick, we have a few minutes left. Barbara Corcoran, tell us how you became involved with her. That's a big deal.
Yes, Barbara Corcoran, who is one of the stars on Shark Tank.
Yes.
She started a real estate office in Manhattan, New York, has an amazing story of being a female entrepreneur who actually started as a secretary, and her husband cheated on her. And
that'll motivate you, right?
Yeah, she was motivated to say, you know what, I'm going to stop supporting you and your real estate company and go start my own. And she grew an amazing company, highly successful, sold that company, and then went on Shark Tank. One of my media advisors that I work with radio and television, works with her media advisors, and they said, we've got to get you two together. We somehow met, and anyway, they flew me out to New York. I got to meet her, and she loved my story. I really loved her crassness, and we just hit it off. It's been very exciting. I've learned a lot from her.
That's amazing, and certainly a testament to your success. I want to thank you so much for coming to the show, and we appreciate those words of wisdom. I'm sure it'll help us and our audience. And I also want to let the audience know that Amanda has for you all a wine mug. So after the show, we'll be drinking wine. Thanks for watching our show today, and make plans to join us next week for another riveting conversation with leaders and innovators right here on The Miranda Show.